wrestling.
Hey everyone, welcome to the We Like Wrestling podcast.
Pizza Hut presents. Sorry.
I'm here with Justin.
Hey.
Does that mean there's going to be a guy with a pizza slicer in a match?
Oh, no. Not here.
They're not in Philly for this, so.
No.
They're in Vegas.
Yeah, press conference is happening.
Yeah.
By the way, before we get into anything, I recommend going out and seeing micro wrestling because it's it's a blast.
Yeah, you got the little card here so you can put it off.
Yeah. Last night we went to Reverb for Micro Wrestling All Stars. That was our first time at one of those events. I was lucky enough to do photography, and I must say the crowd was the best part of it. Honestly, I'm not taking anything away from the performers, but the crowd was there to have a fun time. And man, did they!
It was a great crowd. It was a great performance, and it's not pro wrestling you take your kid to, but as an adult, it's a hell of a night out. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to be there.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I'll definitely try to go again. Holy shit. Scott D'Amore got fired. Yeah,
that's bullshit. I ranted to you guys. It's fucking it's ridiculous.
So
in a pro wrestling climate where you're dealing with someone with sexual harassment, molesting, sex trafficking, you fire a guy who, when you Google his personal information, personal life, what comes up is that he has a degree from Windsor University. That's the only shit that comes up when you Google him for his personal life outside of wrestling. I hope he goes to NXT. I think he'd be a great fit for NXT. He's trained and developed some of the best wrestlers TNA ever saw. Without Scott D'Amore, TNA wouldn't be TNA anymore. They wouldn't be where they are right now. They wouldn't be one of the hottest talked about promotions.
Yeah.
So fuck them.
Scott D'Amore got TNA back on the map.
He was there a long time, right? Then he left and came back?
Yeah, he was there from the beginning, really. I mean, it was like 2003 or something like that, 2002, till 20, I think it was before Global Force. So what year was Global Force?
Like 2012, I think.
And then he worked for Global Force when he got let go, and then he came back in 2017 until now, and then he turned it back into TNA. And
when he came back, though, it was behind the scenes. Before he was on air.
Most of it was, even as a manager, though, he was barely on as a manager.
He said, was it Team Canada he was manager? Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby Roode, Pete Williams, Eric Young, A1, which nobody really, he's like the lost person.
I remember that is, yeah.
You fire Scott D'Amore, and then you put the president of, is he the president of Endeavor?
I don't know.
Somebody from Endeavor is now in charge of TNA.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact quote, but they released a statement pretty much saying this is for the better.
It's not.
Because it helps with marketing and promotional stuff and all that. But honestly, I feel like whether Scott was there or not, TNA was kind of in a binge because they're on fucking a TV channel that nobody gets.
Well, you could watch it on free YouTube, though.
Yeah.
or Impact Plus, Impact or TNA Plus. See, now
it's unfortunate. He was doing great things. It got me interested in TNA again.
So many workers coming out and speaking out for Scott D'Amore, saying that though he's greatly missed and they don't want to see a TNA without him. They don't know what to do.
Honestly, Tony Khan could use his help.
No, fuck Tony. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't deserve that. He deserves to go to NXT and actually work with the next up and coming. He deserves to develop the guys that Tony Khan will try to sign later in life.
He can turn them into stars that will then...
I'm really fucking tired of Tony Khan.
He needs help.
I'm really hating on him. I'm not hating on AEW. I'm not a fan of Tony Khan.
Big announcement, not so big.
Yeah.
Announcement of an announcement.
Yeah. So what happened to the times of like watching AEW and people just show up?
I don't know.
Like, I mean,
Because Tony's become a mark for himself. So now his announcements, it became a meme, and he thinks, well, I'm going to keep doing it so people are talking about it. You know, no publicity, what is it? Bad publicity?
No such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, whatever.
All publicity is good.
He thinks that like becoming a meme of himself is a good thing when we're making fun of it because we just don't care anymore. First time, okay, cool. He's going to make a big announcement. Okay, it's not that big. Second time, oh, maybe this one will be, you know, he's going to try to make up. What? I mean, I'm not even going to try to count how many announcements we've had, announcements of announcements. It's getting ridiculous, and I think he just thinks he's like over for it. I think he's become a mark for himself. He gets to suck his own dick saying, I got my wrestling promotion, I get to do whatever I want. Well, you can go do whatever you want, but eventually people are going to stop watching. This honestly though, people have stopped watching. Look at us. We wanted to make sure we were at every time they came to Philly. We watched every week. Now we kind of just get the gist of what's happening. And then maybe get the pay-per-view when it comes. We stopped watching.
yeah.
Okay, what storylines am I interested in? Hangman Swerve, don't really care. Do you?
In a way.
For Swerve.
Yeah.
So you don't care about the Hangman Swerve story. You want to see Swerve because he's going to be in a title match now.
Yeah.
I think it's somebody different.
But you don't actually care about the Hangman Swerve story.
I'm not.
What's the story? Where did they start? Where did it start? Where did it come from?
Yeah, why are they feuding? I don't even understand what this is about.
See? You don't care about the story. Now you get to go, oh, cool. Swerve's going to be in a title match. Great. Great for Swerve.
Somebody different. Yeah, Hangman's been there for so long. You're just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really been a fan of Hangman.
Yeah, no. I mean, he was
cool.
over with me for a little.
It was cool when he came back at the Philly show, but
Yeah.
but it was just like, oh, cool, he's back, and then
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Sting and Darby are the new tag champs.
That's cool, and we see where this is going to go.
I figured that would happen.
Bucks are going to. I think Flair's going to turn on Sting in the match, in the big final match. What's the real last thing that should happen with Sting's career? Ric Flair should fuck him. That's how your career started. That's how it should end. It's a perfect. I mean, you know, we rebook shit time after time after time, but I think that's the way to end it.
Flair's turned on him a million times.
And this will just be 1,000,001.
Yeah.
Why not?
And then the Bucks can take the belts off him and
Feud with FTR again,
Or Top Flight.
if they stay healthy.
Yeah, they had a good AEW last week.
I need to watch it.
It was good.
Also, this past weekend, I went to MCW Fan Jam. If you guys remember last year when we went, the crowd is just as hot as it was. That MCW crowd is something else, man. Fan Jam was great, by the way. I got to meet Nick Nemeth. Very cool. If you ever get a chance, definitely talk to him a little bit. Very humble. He doesn't think he got the spotlight out of Spirit Squad.
What?
So
He wasn't the star of Spirit Squad.
no, Kenny was.
Yeah.
Kenny Dykstra.
And he said that was for Kenny. And
Of
then
course it was.
He said he just got lucky afterwards.
Well, yeah, but he didn't branch out from that. Like Kenny Dykstra branched out from it.
Yeah.
Dolph went away and came back then. People didn't remember that Dolph Ziggler was Nikki.
And the fact that, like, they all sort of left and he just stayed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, longevity kept him there.
But very, very nice to talk to. Matt Riddle, also very cool.
I will say that's a guy though. I think we've talked about him before, but I'll always bring it up. I think Kenny Dykstra is a super underrated talent. Maybe one day people will look at him like I don't know, Tyler Breeze, because I also think Tyler Breeze goes really uncelebrated.
Oh yeah.
I told you I was watching. I was bored one day, so I threw on an old takeover. I wanted to watch him and Liger, but going through, I tried to figure out which one it was. And so I'm going down Tyler Breeze's takeover matches. It goes, I don't remember the exact order, but he's in the 4-way for the title, and then he has Hideo, Finn Balor, and Liger in 3 matches. 1, 2, 3. Liger was the last. But so Hideo and or Kenta, whatever you want to call him. So that's 3 super big takeover matches that he was trusted with.
And,
Yeah, didn't get his fair shot at that. Probably will go on to be the best worker at NXT to never hold the title. The top guy that never held the title.
I feel the same way about Shawn Spears. I think he doesn't get talked about enough.
I don't think he was in NXT long enough. I think he came up too early. Because he was never in a title picture for NXT.
Yeah.
He got over and then they called him up.
Yeah. And he didn't do much on the main roster, and he didn't do much in AEW. But just watching videos of him train and teach and work like independent matches and stuff, it's like, man, this guy's good.
Him coming out the Rumble at number 10 and the crowd going nuts. They went, hey, we have something here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
I think his debut,
nothing.
his call up was more for the debut to debut him at number 10. And then it's like, you should have just put him back down. Like, don't keep him up.
Then he's on the roster like, okay, so now what do we do with him?
Yeah.
They had nothing.
He got lost. He should have been in title matches. He should just, he could have worked with so many people. He could have stayed, he could have been a champion.
He was a mid-card guy, but when those other guys went up, he could have moved up.
He could have been a good IC champion.
Yeah, but no, I'm sorry. I mean the NXT, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he would have made a good NXT champion. I get that at that time you had, like, Sammy and then Owens and then Joe. So he got
Finn,
he got passed by people coming in, which sucks for like that early NXT. It's like Sammy was the last of those guys coming up that had been there for a couple of years. Everybody else was like, bring Owens in. Owens gets the belt. Bring Joe in. Joe gets the belt.
What the hell is WWE Speed?
I don't know. Tune in on Twitter for it.
Yeah.
Or X, whatever you want to call it.
I think Kenny Dykstra, I agree. The Spirit Squad stink. He couldn't get it off. If Kenny Dykstra would have come in.
I liked Kenny Dykstra.
I did too. I think if he'd have come in on his own. But everyone,
Like Dolph went away for a little and came back.
Yeah.
Still, you can use Kenny Dykstra. Just go away and then come back.
I thought he did.
It was pretty fresh.
like Spirit Squad broke up, and then he was maybe a week or 2 later. He was
Yeah,
out.
it wasn't like a nice longevity for people to forget.
And then they kept mentioning it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, because he was supposed to be the face.
He was supposed to be the breakout star. Yeah. So
But
they were going
he's-
to push him as the breakout star, but you're the breakout star of a comedy
Joke.
group.
Yeah.
That's like saying Pete Gas was going to come in and be the fucking breakout star of the Mean Street Posse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one I remember. That's the only
He
reason I
couldn't
said
get that.
Pete
He couldn't
Gas.
get it off.
Yeah.
So we did another review.
Great American Bash 91. Do you know why I picked it? Did I tell you?
No.
What? What are you laughing for?
Won the Great American Bash my head watching this thing.
It's the first WCW pay-per-view without Ric Flair.
I caught the
We want Flair chance?
I
The
caught
signs?
Tony and JR. They said the 4 horsemen are no longer a thing. And when they said that, I was
They
like,
aren't, but they are.
when they said that, I was like, Flair must be over there.
So 2 weeks before the show, so I have a whole synopsis here. The show started. So this is the first post-Flair pay-per-view, July 14th, 1991. So Flair doesn't show up though in WWF until September. So they still have time, which makes me wonder how that whole belt thing went down. Because he held that thing for a while then too. He had that at Survivor Series, right? The old world title, or was he using the tag belt by then?
I don't remember when they switched over.
Yeah. So originally slotted as Flair versus Luger for the WCW World Title. 2 weeks before Great American Bash, Ric Flair was fired by WCW President Jim Herd. Oh yeah, there's the
That's
original
poster.
Yep.
I know you can't see it on a.
Flair had resigned from his role as head booker in February of 1990, and Jim Herd then wanted to lessen Ric Flair's role on TV. I guess at this point he thought he was too old. In 91. What year did his last match occur? Oh yeah, 2023. Now, not saying that he was at his prime, but he still draws money, obviously. He wanted Flair to take a substantial pay cut and also change his gimmick, the infamous Spartacus. He wanted Flair to shave his head, wear diamond-studded earrings, and don Roman Emperor or
Like
Roman gladiator gear. So, after that, we have what we have here tonight. We have the Great American Bash, 1991.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Jared knows. You should do the story about why Flair took the belt with him.
So, back in the day, your champion would throw down a deposit of rumorly $25,000 for a belt. I guess it kept them from, keeping the belt. If you keep the belt. So you were supposed to get it back every time you lost the title, but because Flair flip-flopped the title so much, he never got it back. They just kept it. So at this point, he said, well, if I'm gone, then I want my money back. Again, he resigned from head booker. He was fired as a talent. So if you're going to fire me, I want my money back. Well, Jim Herd said he did not give him the money. This was back in Jim Crockett era. So he was not going to... I'm sorry, not that Jim Herd didn't give the money. Ric Flair didn't give Jim Herd the money. He was not the one that was paying for it, so he's not giving the money back.
So like Jim Herd's like, that was an arrangement with the last guy, not with me.
Yeah.
So I don't... Yeah. So he said, fine, and the belt goes with me.
And that's the story of him taking it with him.
Hey everybody, this part of the episode is sponsored by Nitro Bar. Now, if you're like me and you like going out with some people, having fun, having some drinks, but you're not a fan of the bar scene, Nitro Bar is the place to be. Nitro Bar is a smaller bar and it's very laid back. Everybody that works there, all the people that go there, I've never had an issue with any fights or problems or overly drunk people. The bartenders there are amazing as well. If you're not sure what to order, let them know what your preferences are, and they can whip up something amazing. While you're there, you can play some shuffleboard. Every day that they're open, each month, they have some sort of band or trivia. It's a fun place to be. It really is. They do metal trivia. We even hosted some wrestling trivia nights there. You can also enjoy some amazing food. I personally love the mango habanero chicken with the strawberry cheesecake as dessert. So if you're looking for a fun, easygoing night out with some drinks, take some friends with you and go to Nitro Bar, located in West Reading on Penn Avenue. There's a parking garage there as well for your convenience. You can either go up the steps or take the elevator.
Until they got a cease and desist. WWE got a cease and desist.
Yep, and they started using the tag belt.
Really?
He used to first.
They used because they would blur it. So when he debuted, he being Flair, pronouns pal, when he debuted at, was it Superstars back in the day? Is that when he debuted?
Yeah, I don't think he wrestled. He just came out.
Yeah,
Right? Bobby Heenan introduced him. The real world champion.
He had the actual big gold with him, but they blurred it on TV, and he kept coming out with it, calling himself the real world's champion. And they would just blur it every time, blur it. But you could tell what it was. Eventually, though, when he sent it back, they wanted to keep that moniker and keep that thing going. So they just had him come out with one of the tag belts. And they blurred it so it would look on TV like he was coming out with still the real world's champion. But not recognized by Jack Tunney.
And they would never mention what belt it was. They would never say WCW or NWA. Yeah.
So we had a dark match. It is, what?
Not that it's a terrible dark match. We didn't see it.
You didn't see it. You don't know. It could be a 5-star classic.
I'm sure.
Who's Black Bart?
I have no idea.
Black Bart versus the Junkyard Dog.
I can't believe Junkyard Dog was still working in 91.
Pulling double duty.
He did.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him at like 84 in WWF.
Yeah, I didn't write down who was all.
By the way, I was watching this and I was like, oh, he leaves in a couple years. He leaves in a couple years.
Who? Oh.
Mostly
We'll
everybody.
get there. We'll get there.
I was like, oh, hey, that's an ECW guy.
An ECW guy.
Heyman and Bill Alfonso.
Oh, was he? I didn't even notice.
Refereeing,
Was he
yeah.
refereeing matches?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have a fucking whistle, so I didn't really pay attention.
He also had hair.
Yeah, too. I was gonna say, who else is ECW guys? I mean, technically, one of these guys shows up in ECW.
It was somebody else. Yeah, I don't remember who. When we go through the card. maybe.
Junkyard went over, I think,
I
right?
gotta believe only one of these guys shows up in ECW. Who else did you think? I don't know who. Well, technically, Big Josh
He
does
had a
too.
cup of coffee. It wasn't there very long.
I'm interested to know who you thought was in ECW. Except for our first match, which is a scaffold match. But under new scaffold match rules, that because nobody wants to bump, capture the flag scaffold match. Now, have you ever seen a scaffold match before, Jared?
I've seen clips of them,
So this is not the classic scaffold match.
mostly from ECW.
Yeah. Normally, it is taking a bump off of it. It's the loser.
of getting thrown off.
Yeah.
Well, they did mention that you can either get thrown off or
Yeah, nobody was getting thrown
Yeah,
off.
except all four of these guys
And
said, no way.
Austin said, I have a career. Terry Taylor said, I think I have a career. Bobby Eaton said, I've done this way too many fucking times. I'm not doing this shit again. And PN News says, why the fuck am I in this match?
and then they also said it used to be metal and they put wood.
I don't know about
It's a ladder
that.
with wood on it.
Yeah, it was a weird fucking scaffold. They're the worst match ever created, right?
Yeah, they're terrible. How can you do anything? It's like this big.
Like when it's chicken shit heels and big baddies, like Four Horsemen or the Midnight Express versus like guys like the Road Warriors, who you just want to see the big guys throw the chicken shits off the fucking thing, which most of the time was Jim Cornette anyway.
Did he break
That worked.
something one
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Broke his leg or something?
Yeah. It kind of works. You know, you want to see that as a fan. You're like, yeah, fuck them. Get those assholes. They always run from you. There's nowhere to run now. But in this case, nobody had anything. Who cares? Bobby Eaton and PN News versus Steve Austin and Terrence Taylor.
Who are the heels?
Taylor and Austin.
Oh, because I don't remember Eaton being a face. So
Hey,
that's why I wore the shirt in honor of him.
It was a good shirt.
why is he?
What?
You know, I saw Bobby come out and I was like, why does he kind of look like Johnny Ace?
We don't talk about him. We don't talk about him anymore, buddy. He's persona non grata.
He's also another underrated worker.
Oh my God.
Bobby Eaton.
Any good worker, ask them who they studied. It's always going to be Bobby Eaton. Do you know what, like, he originated a leg drop from the top rope. Back in the day, that shit is crazy to think of. Now, who cares?
Jam, yeah.
Back then, yeah. I mean,
PN News is nothing. He's
Who is he?
yo
Nobody.
baby, yo baby, yo.
So
He's one of Ryan Vox's favorite wrestlers. He's just fun. He's a fun gimmick. He's not a good wrestler, but he's a fun gimmick.
so what was the team then?
I don't even know
There
why
wasn't. There were no teams.
they're random people.
They are random. That's what I said in our chat, that this is a bad GM mode simulator.
It's like
like-
someone hit the random button on the
Yeah.
remote.
What
and-
led up to?
There was none. So the only team, how this was supposed to be, I couldn't figure out how they got Bobby Eaton and PN News. I can kind of understand Bobby Eaton because they switched places. So Richard Morton, who you'll see later on, was supposed to be in the team with Terrence Taylor. They're part of the
York
Foundation.
Yeah.
But because now he has this match with Robert Gibson later, they switched. But where the PN News comes from, and again, so what I was getting at was Bobby Eaton. I kind of see now he's the face to Ricky Morton's heel, where throughout their entire career it's vice versa. I can see where that comes down.
Yeah, that wasn't fun to watch.
Oh, it's boring. It's terrible.
This was given a -3 stars
Nice.
from Dave Meltzer.
Did you see the part where
There's not one person. out of, what was it, like 193 votes, not one person gave it a thumbs up. There was like 4 thumbs in the middle. Everything else is thumbs down. Not one thumbs
It's
up.
boring. It's punches and kicks.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the whole show.
Oh,
The whole show. Not one thumbs up.
did you?
And
see,
there are some redeeming qualities in this. Like,
did you see the part where Bobby Eaton captures the flag, walks over,
it
then
was.
walks back just to get the thing thrown in his face, the
'Cause-
powder?
And even after the powder, then what? Oh, let's go down now.
Yeah, what was
What the
point?
fuck?
It was so bad.
They didn't announce he won until after the powder.
Yeah, it was so stupid. It's like they forgot that the powder spot was coming.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, we didn't do
It's like Bobby
oh,
Eaton was walking away and someone said, "Hey, Bobby." Oh, shit.
here's your Coke.
Because he captures the flag. It's like, okay, they won.
Yeah.
But nobody says anything.
Yeah, you didn't do like powder and then, he's gonna fall. He's gonna fall. And then PNU saves him or something.
Yeah. He actually had to walk back over to
He
hit the powder.
walked. Yeah.
By the
And
way,
then he's standing around like, oh, I can't hit Austin because he's climbing up. So like, I'm just going to hit Terry. Like,
I'm not a fan.
And now let's all walk away.
it was botchy.
Holding hands.
And then he climbed down and then
Yeah.
they wrestle in the ring.
It was dumb.
I'm not a fan of Michael Capetta.
Okay,
What?
Michael Capetta, the world's most dangerous announcer.
I don't know.
He's been at Legends every year.
Well, I know, but like his, I don't know.
That's because you didn't grow up with it. He's, oh my God. Sting? Everybody. I love the way he does his
Tony
shit.
does it better
No. Tony copies Capetta.
and does it better.
No.
I must say that the only problem with having that scaffolding match first is there's a lot of stalling.
Now you've got to sit there and wait.
Yeah.
After a -3 star match, now everybody has to sit there and wait. And on TV, it's not that bad. You get a little something, but think about being in that arena.
Well, they did promos, right? They did
No,
that,
the live crowd is sitting there watching him take the scaffolding apart.
But they did that Arn thing, right? Was that during the teardown?
Well, but even still,
But that's on
you're
a
not.
screen.
Yeah, even if they're showing stuff, like you're you're not seeing any action.
Well, no, but I mean they were on the ramp.
Yeah, but even I mean that wasn't the whole time.
No.
But even if you're showing anything, it's still who cares?
You're just sitting
It's
there.
boring.
That's why Ross and Shivani talk so much. They're
Yeah.
just killing time. Whew, that's brutal.
Next, we have the outsider. I'm sorry, Scott, Diamond Stud. The Diamond Stud with DDP versus the greatest performer of all time, Tom Zank, the Z-Man. No, Jared, nothing. Nothing.
This is
nothing?
DDP is not wrestling yet.
No, he hasn't started wrestling.
Not a wrestler yet.
Yeah, I know. This was even before him chauffeur, right?
After.
After.
Yeah. He was actually working for WCW when he did that because it
that-
was
that
Dusty.
at WrestleMania 9.
No,
Not with Honky Tonk Man.
no, because Dusty was working there. Dusty's already back here,
This would have been. That would have been.
which explains why someone's put over very strong for the rest of the show.
That would have been 6.
Yeah, something like that. Whenever Dusty was there.
I thought he was the one with LOD. Didn't he drive LOD?
No,
No, he
what?
drove Rhythm and Blues.
He drove. Yeah, he drove Rhythm and
Honky
Blues.
I remember him at WrestleMania
But
9.
Dusty was the one who hooked them up with him because he
knew.
that he had this Cadillac.
You can see how much I pay attention.
And
to
DDP,
Yeah.
that was just a one-off. He was.
Yeah, he was just a driver.
Not signed to anything. No.
Yeah,
So he's a manager at this point.
And I saw Scott, and I was like, oh, hey, he looks.
doesn't he look so much bigger than he did
Yeah.
when he was Razor? Even though it's really like months away.
He got lean when he went to.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
And they talk one thing like he's 6'8", 250 pounds.
He
They
is?
talk him
He's-
up.
he's big, but-
He's so
But
fucking big.
When he's Razor, it's like nobody talks about how big he is.
It's because he's in there with bigger guys. It's
I mean,
just that.
Sean was small compared to him, though.
Sean's not that small.
So we say Razor's a lot of legs.
Yeah.
He's tall. That's what. Tom Zink is after WWF?
Yeah,
After Can-Am? Okay.
of course.
I can't
This is
remember the timeline.
91.
He wasn't in WWF very long.
That was like 80. I don't know, 6, 7, something like that.
So
him, Rick Martel.
Because Strike Force is like 88, 89.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watch stuff like this, and it's weird because it's like, oh, he's here, but then he leaves, and then he comes back, and then he goes back.
Who?
to
Tom Zank?
Scott Hall.
Yes, that is the argument that Eric Bischoff always makes. Is that when people go, well, you just signed former WWE guys. Did I? Or did I sign back guys that I had and I thought had potential then, but I wasn't in a position of power to keep them around? I brought them back.
It's insane because, like, I think of Razor Ramon, and for some reason, I thought he had a longer tenure.
For WWE?
Yeah.
Like 5 years.
But I always thought it was more than that.
That's a long time.
But then
Especially back in those days, like that's a long time.
But then I'm seeing him here, and then he leaves, and then goes back.
Think about how long Hogan was there. Hogan was there less than 10 years.
Was he?
Yeah. 85 is the first Mania, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, 83 is the first Mania.
Or 84. That might have been.
84? Mania 3 is 87. No.
16 is 2000. So.
Hold on, I'm trying to think. 90 is 6.
90 would be
89
It's
is 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
88's 4.
So 87.
87's 3.
85.
85, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So he came back in 83.
See how we figure things out.
So he came back to the Fed in 83 and won his belt from Sheik. That was 83. And that was very, very much after coming back to the Fed. Because he had done his AWA thing.
As a heel.
He was in there from 83 to 93, really. It's a 10 years. It's not that long. And now when you think of, because we look at it as like, holy shit, like, you know, AJ Styles has been in WWE now longer than he was in TNA, which is crazy to think. But that's because people just have a longer career.
For some reason, I just like with the Hogan thing too. I just always thought he was in there.
They're announcing who's in the chamber?
I don't know. Yeah, we don't even talk about this anymore. We'll talk about it next week.
For some reason, I just always thought it was longer. Like Razor Ramon, he was always talked about. That's why.
He was also put in a top position right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his first WrestleMania match is against top talent.
And then he went back to WCW, dropped the
Bob Backlund.
Well, yeah. he did the
Former world champion.
Exactly.
He did the hey yo, you know who I am,
Yeah.
whatever. But for some reason, I just thought
You know who I am. I'm the Diamond Stud. That's what he
But you
should
don't
said.
know why I'm here.
And now you get, see, this is something that might have been lost on you, which I think it is lost on a lot of people. When Hall and Nash keep doing the thing with DDP. What?
Nash.
When they keep doing the thing with DDP to get him to join the NWO, some fans might not understand why are they so, enamored with getting DDP. 'Cause he was their boy. That was their guy.
That
He
the
was.
click before the click.
It really was. It really was. If DDP would have went to WWE, well, that's a fun little scenario we could always dive into.
What a shit finish to this match.
I didn't even write it. What was the finish? I don't remember.
He just did a back suplex and bridged.
Oh yeah.
Oh, not the fall away.
No, it was a back.
He did a fall away though.
Yeah.
He did the Razor Ramon fall away.
Yeah, and he talked about his devastating new finisher, the diamond drop.
Oh,
It was a back suplex with a bridge, but then
perfect
right,
plex?
right at no. No,
I don't
back.
remember. I remember him doing the fucking Razor gimmick.
Yeah.
But Razor always did the fall away.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh shit, he was doing that then too.
What I thought
That's
was,
all I remember from this match.
what I thought was funny was he did that backdrop, and then as soon as the 3 count was over, the guy got up and just no soul.
Oh, he did the scoop up, not 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 even like a belly to back suplex, like a side suplex
Yeah.
almost.
And then-
Okay.
Yeah, he bridged and
Yeah,
Tom
okay.
Zink didn't. But I'm like, wait, that wasn't even a finisher. That was like a basic move.
Well,
And they said that, but this diamond drop finisher, which was that like the Razor's Edge, an early version?
I don't know.
It was weird. What did they rate that match?
I didn't write down that rating. I said it was a solid match overall. Like I said, the wrestling in this pay-per-view isn't terrible, but it's not a pay-per-view worthy match. If you go to a house show and see that match, it's fine. It's whatever. You're not going to go home and talk about it, but you're also not going to say how terrible it was.
It definitely seemed like in your house.
That's the WCW
Not even
Saturday
in your house,
night.
man. Yeah, that's a Saturday night. Oh yeah, I don't even know if that gets a nice Monday night premium spot. That's like
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Because you use Zank to get over your new heel. That's what Zank is for.
Speaking of, your big, soon-to-be fucking world champion. Think about that. Is put in a position where he's facing Oz.
Oh god.
A going nowhere gimmick.
A gimmick that was developed for an entrance.
So
And he is not a main eventer. He's not a mid-carder. He's a bottom guy.
I wrote, it's clear at this point they have no future plans for Oz. In fact, I believe they didn't have any plans for him past his entrance the first time he debuted. It is, and he is going to stop. This might be Oz's, I think, last televised match. I could be wrong. It might be his last pay-per-view match. But to think in like a few months, Ron Simmons is going to be world champion, and here he's working Oz.
Again, this is not a...
At least he's not, jobbing to Oz.
It's not a pay-per-view match. Again,
No.
it's another...
Yep.
So I want to say Ron Simmons still looks the fucking same.
Do you know? Yeah. Do you know who the Wizard is?
No.
I do.
You do? Did you look it up, or you knew?
I looked it up.
Oh.
Because I did know.
He may have something to do
Oh, here we go. I knew this was going to come at some point.
Was it Kevin,
with the what?
Kevin Sullivan?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's Kevin Sullivan.
He looked a lot smaller than...
He does hunch over. He's also wearing sweatpants.
You're not supposed to know it's Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah,
so
he's
he has
hunched
to-
over.
Supposed to be a wizard.
So I saw Ron Simmons at Fan Jam, and his arms are fucking massive, at the same size as they were here.
Yeah.
And also, so I just saw the diamond stud. I was like, oh, cool, Scout Hall, whatever. Fucking Oz comes out. I'm like, oh, that's
the
fucking
Outsiders
hilarious.
back to back.
That's fucking hilarious.
My son goes, Daddy, Kevin Nash looks really old. I said, no,
Yeah.
there's something in his hair to make it gray. He's
Yeah.
not really gray yet. Now it's a natural gray. But back then,
But think about where we are. We're 3 matches into this pay-per-view. Okay? We've had Steve Austin, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Farouk. And Tom Zank.
so we have
Can't forget
You
the Red Rooster.
the Attitude Era.
Yeah, but I was trying to put over the the Attitude Era. The Monday Night Wars is happening right here. Yeah. WCW had them all. They wouldn't have needed a war. They would have won it.
NPN News.
Well,
That was another weird finish.
I don't remember it. I honestly, most of these matches, I'm glossing over. I'm typing while watching it, and I'm like, okay, it's a boring match. There's nothing's exciting.
I was on my phone. Is it over?
There's no point. Yeah, there's no point of watching.
It was,
And I didn't know the results. I did not go and look this up first, except for the main. I know. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I know the title match results. Sorry, not the main event.
He beat him with a shoulder block. But
Well, that
Nash
makes
was
sense
standing here, and he shoulder blocked him, and Nash fell this way.
because they didn't want to bump.
Otherwise, he would have been because he was against
he
the
would've-
ropes. So kind
yeah.
of had a. But he hit Kevin Sullivan, and then Sullivan doesn't fall, and Nash just stands there waiting for him. It was a weird.
We'll get
Did you say woo woo? What?
No, we'll get into this, but why the fuck was there a match after?
But yeah, we'll get there.
Ugh.
I don't know why. I don't have an answer. I mean, I didn't really watch anything else. There might be people who know more about this.
Because I was watching this and I saw.
I know
I was on the title.
They
match
had
and
Jim
I was
Ross.
like, okay.
When I was looking this up, Jim Ross does a whole episode about this show, so he might have some insight. I did not, do that research of looking into it first, because then it's gonna taint my opinion. But I did write a synopsis about this next match. Richard Morton versus Robert Gibson. On paper, this should be amazing, right?
I was expecting this to be a match of the night when I saw the card.
It might be.
That's sad.
I wrote this. Hopefully, it's. I was writing and just kind of putting in words as I was going. Though tag team breakups in today's wrestling environment have been overdone to death, in the summer of '91, that was far from the case. We've seen the lights of Strikeforce crumble and the Mega Powers explode, but to see arguably the hottest tag team from the 80s come to blows was a sight unseen. We are a few months away from possibly the greatest breakup angle in pro wrestling history. You know what that is.
The Rockers.
Yes. But even to have that to not compare it to seems like this was dead on arrival. The guy's known for high flying, right? We all know what. Even though you did, I didn't live through Rock and Roll Express. Jared, you definitely didn't. You watched them at all as a kid or no? Because they weren't in the E, and you didn't watch WCW or Jim Crockett, right?
Not religiously, and I didn't follow them then with Jim Cornette and Down South, whatever.
Okay, so really none of us were involved in that hype.
I read the magazines. I knew,
but we all kind of, bought into this hype of what they were. And I've seen their stuff now, and I think they were great. They were what the Rockers were.
Blonde guy, brunette, high flyers.
So why the fuck does half this match take place on the ground working a knee? This is the boringest technical match because it's two guys working a technical match that aren't technical wrestlers. And you do this with Brett and Owen. This match is the WrestleMania 10 opener. That's the heat that this should have. You put this type of match on with Ricky and Robert, and it has nothing. They're not even. Why? Why does this happen that you have him turning? You're not telling that story. He just turned.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I don't remember why they turned. What was it about?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
I know if you watched before.
Nope, I didn't watch any follow-up, but isn't that a story you should be telling on the pay-per-view? They gave us nothing. Almost as if this is like a 2-month feud, not a 10-year feud. They started in so almost 10 years. They started in 83, I believe, together. I think, did I write that down? No. So they start. I looked up a little history for them, just so I think it was 83. Because I wasn't sure if they were together in the 70s or not. I was so disappointed. What did you think, Jared, of this match? You don't really know a lot about Rock and Roll Express, so you didn't have maybe a high expectation going into this when you see that on a card.
So when JR and Tony mentioned about Richard and Robert, I was like, oh, cool. It should be a good match. And then it was like,
Ricky Morton is still wearing his rock and roll gear.
I was going to say, he's not even dressed like a heel.
What the fuck?
Well, I think Tony and JR mentioned that too. They said something about bandanas.
Yeah.
They're still dressed like a tag team.
Yeah, he should be dressing like sophisticated.
He's Richard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really do heel stuff other than
Besides
attack
working over the knee.
I expected two best friends
Yeah.
working each other.
They were two best friends who decided to let's just have a good match and not hurt each other.
Let's go have a television match.
Yeah, let's go. No one gets hurt.
This should have been a Clash of Champions because back then they were free on TV, right?
Yeah. It was so boring.
I
Way
must
too
say-
long. It's like 17 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was.
Gosh.
I must say, I always enjoyed the ramps
I like ramps too.
that connected to the rings.
Yeah.
But why the fuck do they have everybody stand on that fucking pillar?
Oh yeah, that's dumb.
I noticed that the first time, and I'm like, maybe it's just because, and then it happened the whole show, and I'm like, why?
Yeah. And then instead of hitting the camera that's in front of the person on the little stand, you don't mean pillar.
Yeah,
you mean a little stand. They'll do like an overhead shot. I think they did it for Nikita. They did like an overhead shot of the camera getting into position for him already standing there.
Yeah, they're just standing there waiting for like a minute.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
I like the pyro on the ramp, though.
And there's that one where
It goes as they go.
the one wrestler's leaving and the other guy's coming out like they're passing each other.
One thing I really love about Japan is they you leave through a different way.
I noticed that.
You don't go back up the ramp or even like the side of the ramp. You leave so that everybody can watch the ramp. Not watching you leave up the ramp. They're okay, we're next. You're leaving next.
Yeah.
It's also a faster way.
Brian was confused.
Yeah.
Because this was his first Wrestle Kingdom. And he, after his match, he was like, "Where do I go? I'm not used to this." And he went, like, so the ramp is here, and they go the opposite way, like behind the commentary.
As it should be. The focus is on the next match.
Yeah, I like that. So in the next match, we have Dustin Rhodes and the Young Pistols, which I thought were the Southern Boys, right?
That's what I knew them as, the Southern Boys.
I don't know who they are.
You ain't missing much.
Yes, you do. Steve Armstrong, the referee.
No, Scott Armstrong's a referee.
Oh, Steve's not a referee too?
I thought just Scott was a ref.
Oh.
No? Is he?
Who the fuck is Scott Armstrong?
The referee. And Tracy Smothers.
I've heard of Tracy.
Versus the Freebirds.
Do.
Bad Street, Atlanta, GA.
Who is...
Michael... Yeah, I was going to say, hold on. So, Michael Hayes, Jimmy Garvin, and Bad Street. Do you know who Bad Street is?
I do.
I was watching the way he was
You
looking,
don't know. It doesn't matter how much you watch the way he does anything. You could watch him
Just to
jerk
see-
off. You wouldn't know who the
just to
fuck
see
he
if I
was.
could figure it
He
out.
could have come out without a mask on. You wouldn't know who he was.
The way
I'll give you a hint. He's the brother of somebody in the match. It's not Cody Rhodes.
Speaking of which,
What?
during the promo where Dustin and the Pistols
Where he
were talking,
sounds like Dusty.
Yeah.
He does the
Yeah.
lisp. Are you making fun of your dad?
He also talks with like a heavy Southern
my
accent.
girlfriend
which he doesn't have.
walks into the room and sits down, and she does not watch it. She's not a wrestling fan. She goes, "Is that Cody's dad?"
That's funny.
And I'm like, almost.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
noticed
but
that.
in that promo, it's like he was trying to
Yeah.
imitate Dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad promo.
I was watching the way Bad Street moved just to see if I can kind
So
of figure it out.
did you think you knew who he was?
No, I couldn't figure it out because the way he moved and stuff seemed very different in this time.
So even though you don't know, okay, actually, there's multiple people with brothers in this match. It's not Ronnie Garvin either. I know you're gonna say who's Ronnie Garvin. Bad Street is Brad Armstrong. He's actually very good. Very good wrestler. Very underrated wrestler. Who are the brothers of Road Dogg?
Oh, you didn't know?
Ha!
Yeah.
Also,
I forget his real name. I know him as Jesse James.
He's Brian.
and their dad was Bullet Bob,
Yeah.
who passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I looked up, and it said during some house shows and some Saturday night tapings that when it was just two Freebirds versus the Young Pistols, that Brad Armstrong would come out and help the Pistols as Brad Armstrong, help them like beat the Freebirds, and then also he would run in the back and then come out as Bad Street in the same match to help the Freebirds with the pistol. So he was doing
Why
double
would the
duty.
face come out first to help the faces?
No, just not in that order. I'm just
Oh.
saying he would do double duty in the same match. He'd come out as himself and Bad Street and help both teams because the fans didn't know. I did not think he'd be last. I thought he'd go first.
Was
Like
that,
eliminated.
Well, it didn't. Who cares?
by the way, this is when I realized what the fuck was WCW doing?
Well, they didn't know. They had 2 weeks to regroup their entire plans. They had to start making plans for the future at this point.
I mean, the over the top rope bullshit.
Oh, that's what's his name? Bill Watts. Sorry, I didn't know what you meant. Yeah, I thought you just meant in general with this pay per view.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's a fair question.
That too. But no,
But
Hayes got eliminated because he threw somebody over, and I'm like, motherfucker.
That's a
That's also because I think Hayes didn't want to do the G.A.B.
yeah. Because they are definitely making it look like Dustin Rhodes is going to be the next world champion because they are putting him over heavy.
He wins with a clothesline.
But well, that's his thing at that time. I think.
Doesn't
I
even look
don't know if he was doing the bulldog yet. Did he do a bulldog?
did a bulldog.
Yeah, he did do a bulldog.
Okay.
Do you know
Was
who
that
the,
his finish?
Do you know who the manager is? The Freebirds.
Oh, Dick? Dirty Dick? Is that?
No,
What was his name?
no, they're not out yet. The Dirty Dicks. No, they're not here yet.
No, the guy.
What
with
did
the
they
jean
call his
jacket.
name? What was his
It was
name?
Dirty Dick or something.
No, Dirty Dick Slater comes out later.
Big Daddy Dink.
Dink.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was he's Alf. What the fuck is his name?
Olive oil.
Oliver
Humperdinck,
Humperdinck. Yeah,
who was Bam Bam's
he was
manager.
Bam Bam's manager. Yeah, he was also big from like Jersey. He was like huge around this area.
But yes, Dustin did the Bulldog as a finisher.
And
Okay.
and the lariat clothesline.
Yeah, I forgot.
His clothesline looked like shit.
But I'm surprised he didn't eliminate the whole team. They were pushing him hard.
Well, he did kind of.
2 out of 3, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Michael Hayes eliminated himself, but yeah, you're right. Didn't do the job.
Tracy Smothers passed away a few years ago, and was it him or the other one? Tracy Smothers went to WWF after this. And became Lance Cassidy or whatever.
After this?
Was it after this?
No, not Lance Cassidy. Freddie Joe Floyd. You're right.
Yeah.
It might be after. Yeah, it is after this.
Yeah, and he was a jobber. He was a nobody.
I think he was there till like '93. So yeah, you're right. I think it's after this.
He was a nobody.
Freddie Joe Floyd.
Yeah.
Should have started a counter of how many people we've met. Because I'm pretty sure 80% of this card we've seen at Legends.
Not Tracy Smothers.
Yeah, not Tracy Smothers.
Or somewhere.
He was in he was in ECW.
Sort of.
we saw
FBI.
Yeah.
We saw
yeah.
Lex. We saw,
Yeah. I have here though. It seems this match seems to only serve the purpose of putting Dustin over. Somehow to look like an underdog. How a towering 6'6" second generation super wrestler is supposed to be an underdog.
When his dad is the
I have
booker.
no idea.
Was this before or after the fucking road thing?
Way before
Okay.
King of the Road.
Yeah.
Dustin and Dusty just came back. This is '91.
They're like 80
Dusty
years
and
old. I don't
Dustin
know.
were at the '90 Rumble together.
Dustin had one match. with
no
his dad,
'91. Were they in the? They were at the '91 Rumble.
which would have been January. This is July.
So yeah, they were at the '91. So they're
That
like
was their
fresh
last
back.
one.
When was he Gold Dust?
Way after this.
Jared.
No, I know it's after this, but I'm saying like how
95, 96.
This
I'm not
is
exactly sure his debut date, but
this
like
is-
Goldust doesn't hit till 96.
long WCW just
and like this isn't
King of the Road's like 94.
and Hayes is not managing the Hardys yet. This is way before that.
everything that happens in WCW just seems so.
Well, Hayes isn't even Doc Hendricks yet.
No, yeah, he's
we
still
have
active.
95,
He's
yeah.
still working.
Vince didn't get him. Well, Bruce didn't get him to cut his hair yet.
I like Michael Hayes as a worker.
All right, next it's Yellow Dog versus Johnny B. Bad, who has yet. This is his first pay-per-view match, I believe they said.
Johnny?
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out what exactly they're doing with him. Also, they're still trying to figure out political correctness in Baltimore in 1991.
Do you know who
Do you
Yellow
not?
Dog is?
Yeah, do you know who Yellow Dog is?
Pillman.
Yeah, they actually JR says it.
There's something going around this time where they thought it was Pillman.
He lost a match.
So Arn, he lost. It was a tag team match. Brian Pillman and El Giante. We'll see later.
I knew him from.
Yes, from Taker's Worst Mania match.
the guy who he had to wear a muscle suit
Yeah.
because he had no muscles.
Yeah, you see what he actually looks like. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. The loser leaves town match against Pillman and Arn, but it wasn't the whole team. It was just whoever got pinned, and Arn pinned Pillman, which should have been Elegante and let him go.
So Pillman showed up as Yellow Dog.
Yeah,
I
this
mean-
was actually at Clash of Champions in June, so it was not that long ago. This is the first time you're seeing Yellow Dog, probably.
I mean, that mask, though, that didn't help because I could clearly see this.
It also didn't fit right. What was with the little, like, horn type things? I don't think they were supposed to be horns. I think it just
Yeah.
didn't fit. Like, it was too
And then
big
like
or
it came
something.
like here, so the
Yeah.
whole bottom of his face
Well,
was
that's what I
hanging
mean.
out.
Yeah, like you could see.
Yeah, they definitely reached into somebody's bag and were like, hey, we got yellow.
I just think they didn't plan it out.
Yeah.
Like, what was going on with the mat? You ever notice there was like wrinkles in the mat?
Yeah.
It's WCW.
Like they landed would slide.
yeah.
Yeah. He also still wrestled like
I
Pillman.
really didn't have. Yeah.
He did all Pillman's
Well, that's
moves.
why JR said it, I think.
One of the best drop kicks.
It is phenomenal. You didn't pick up on the shit that Pillman's doing for Johnny B. Bad? Having them cheer the F word at him and not fuck. I'll say fuck. I won't say the other one.
Oh no, I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention.
He says to the camera, Johnny B. Bad, more like Johnny B. Gay, I think he says. And then he has the crowd chant the F word at him. Yeah.
Did you guys have the thing show up in your match too?
Yeah.
About the technical difficulties.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I'm sure that's just less than a technical difficulty, and probably just the masters are all fucked up.
AEW really is WCW because they can't get their feed right either.
Yeah.
Maybe someone was really close to the mic when he said that word, and they're like, "Oh, we got to cut this." Maybe WWE's like, "We can't." I don't know. I think Johnny B. Bad is a good worker. I liked Mark Marrow.
Yeah,
He's young
Johnny B.
here.
Bad's not there yet.
He's green, but
Yeah.
he's underrated too.
Yeah. These next
No Sable, not yet.
these next two, they're not married yet. You're saying?
I don't think she's even in the picture yet at this point.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know when they got
I'm not
married.
sure.
I have no idea.
Do you think she's having second thoughts?
Well, of what? Of being married to of leaving Johnny B. Bad?
Do you think that's how they got
Because, like,
introduced?
I don't think
Because,
that's her second thoughts.
Because of her current.
I don't think she's having second thoughts. We'll see what happens.
You think
with that.
that's how they? I think Vince introduced them.
Oh god,
Dude,
That could be.
there's people. I'm not talking about this today, but there's shit that's coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, what happened with Ashley Massaro?
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Now
why.
that this shit's coming to light, what happened there?
all the stuff she was saying and no one listened,
Yeah,
and
and now with her mental health,
well, she passed away, but yeah, she killed herself.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Well, now you're looking back and it's like, well, what caused that mental
yeah.
health?
We should have been listening.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the times we're in versus the times we were in. These next two matches I'm glossing over
that
fucktard way.
Pillman match, it was just. Again, these are all like you said, Clash of Champion house show matches.
Big Josh. Who's Big Josh? Jared. Who's Big Josh?
He's more like medium-sized Josh.
I don't know. He's kind of a big dude. You're right.
He looks familiar, but I can't.
He's Doink. Original Doink. It's Matt Bourne.
Oh, okay.
Well, he first was Matt Bourne in WWF at the first
He
Mania.
was. Yes, he was on the
Lost
first.
to Ricky
I believe
Steamboat.
that's who I gave. Yeah, I think I gave that the match of the night for that. I think I said the best match on that card was actually that match. Ricky Steamboat and Matt Bourne. Not a bad match.
was a good jobber
Matt
guy.
Bourne is a very good wrestler.
Then he left.
This is not part of that. Versus Black Blood, who is Billy Jack Haynes.
You probably don't know who that is, but
No, you're not. You're a big Billy Jack Haynes fan.
who left the company in July of '91? And this pay-per-view was July of '91. This is his last match.
Leaves WCW to do what?
Black Blood. I have no
To do
idea.
what?
But he left after this.
I first saw him and I thought it was Terry Gordy.
I can see that because of what you know. No, Terry Gordy's tearing it up in Japan. He's going to come in soon, though. About a year and a half.
But there's no like, why is this a lumberjack match? Are these guys in some sort of blood feud? Like
No.
nothing.
Well, they're trying to cut some people's heads off, I guess.
Why did
didn't-
Dustin help?
They're like, here goes Black Blood with his manager Kevin
From a
Sullivan.
little town in France.
And I'm like, where's his manager? What?
Oh yeah, it says. It says with Kevin Sullivan, who
then-
doesn't come out.
I'm like,
Because he's getting ready for his big fucking match next.
yeah.
El Gigante versus oh my god, one man gang.
So Big Josh is your other ECW guy. Briefly.
I was talking about Steve Austin, to be honest.
They were probably there out the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Big Josh was Doink, then got released. Went to ECW,
He was reborn.
reborn.
So,
With the not Candido, Sandman. Who gave him that name? Douglas.
Yeah, I think it was Shane.
this time just blends together. One man gang is this.
Post Akeem.
He's already left the Fed.
Yeah, Post Akeem.
Was he OMG in the Fed as well?
Yes.
So he was OMG in like Florida Championship Wrestling
Everywhere.
before he came to the Fed. He brought that gimmick with. It got turned up, obviously, to 100.
Because his first Survivor Series, he's on Andre's team, his one-man gang.
And, he was given a good run. He made a lot of money. He worked with Hogan.
On
through
top
the,
at house
through the
shows.
States, man, yeah. On top. He made his money. And from what I hear, he was a great guy. One of those big teddy bear type guys.
Not at all like his character.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like we met him in Allentown?
No. He's been dead
That
for...
was Tugboat. Was in Allentown, I
No.
think.
Yeah,
Tugboat's, when
Was
did
it
he
Tugboat?
die?
yeah, it was Tugboat. It was
Tugboat's not dead.
Tugboat's not dead?
No.
It was Taskmaster. Yeah.
Who am I
Because he
thinking
had the
of?
Stormtrooper helmet on
Yeah.
the table.
But for some reason, I remember seeing Akeem. I don't know.
I don't know what year he died. But maybe you did. I don't. I've never met him. Yeah, both of these matches are fucking.
One Man Gang's not dead.
One Man Gang's not dead?
Nope. He's 63. He's still alive.
See, I thought we saw him at Allentown.
I don't remember that. I could have sworn he was dead.
George Gray. Yeah, I saw that. I listened to that Bruce Pritchard. What was, I forget what they said, why they turned him.
I don't care. I'm sorry. Honestly, he's a fucking nothing character. He meant nothing to me. I didn't like Akeem. I don't like One Man Gang. It's a nothing character.
I mean, the rumor was that Akeem was a riff on Dusty.
That's the only thing really anybody ever talks about with Akeem.
That he was making fun of Dusty because he's a white guy.
Not making fun of. It's a parody.
Yeah. The way he talked and jived.
But he also, but he also, Slick was his manager. So, like, it made sense.
Yeah. Then this is after that. He went back to WCW as One Man Gang. Apparently with a chain, and I don't know, he's being controlled by Sullivan.
Yeah.
What's with the black eyeliner? And
Oh, yeah, he looked terrible.
What was all that
It's like,
about?
I feel like they were trying to make him look different than his Fed run.
Sullivan looks like he would murder a family.
Possibly.
He may have. Well, is One Man Gang supposed to be like he's uncontrollable? Like someone has to control him with the chain, or
Maybe.
yeah, that's a shit match.
Yeah. There's cocaine involved.
Take it off.
Next, we have the reason we're here. I loved this match. I don't like the tapping of the fucking turnbuckles.
I was gonna say, so watching Eddie and JBL.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me introduce. So we have the Russian chain match, Nikita Koloff versus Sting. This is actually a feud, a worthwhile match.
This is one of the only matches that they take you back and show you why it's happening.
Yes, there's a lot of history there. Well, not a lot of history, a lot leading up to why this is a Russian. Because it's weird to go like from pretty much nothing, because it only happened at Super Brawl, which was in May.
Super Brawl's their Mania?
No, Starrcade. Well, some people say Halloween Havoc, but no, seriously. Some people say, yeah, it's hard. They don't have a Mania, but Starrcade is how I've always looked at it as their Mania. But yeah, Super Bowl was, I think it was May. That's their King of the Ring. Yeah. So there was the dream match of Sting and Luger versus the Steiners. And Nikita Koloff was going to run and hit Luger for some reason. I don't actually know that was going to happen. That one was beyond me. But Sting pushes Luger out of the way, gets hit with the chain. And now because he accidentally hit Sting with the chain, now they're feuding. I can see why Sting's mad at him.
So this is... Because I know Koloff was a face that was on Sting's team in some of those war games.
That's
After
later.
this, okay.
That's after this.
Okay.
I need after he built his team, he was like, I need one more guy, and I need only guy that I know can fight as hard as I can fight. And him.
That's a guy I trust you.
Yeah, because they do. I mean, they have a good match. So okay, yes, it is not JBL and Eddie.
But I was gonna say even
That's not a chain match. That's a bull rope.
Dog collar, wasn't it?
bull
No,
rope.
bull rope.
Takes
Yeah.
a bull rope.
But it is
But
it
it's
is
the
the
same
same
thing. Four corners.
concept.
Yeah.
With the four corners. I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Did they do that Monday with the Nakamura match?
Did they?
I don't know. That's what I was
Cody.
asking you.
Oh, I didn't know. No.
That,
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Great
But
wrestling
watching, yeah,
podcast. Modern wrestling.
Call the We Don't Watch Wrestling
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, it's modern wrestling.
but watching the bull rope match, I kind of, in a way, liked it because it was different. But I didn't like the fact that you had to.
I don't like. Yeah, I don't like that.
Like the bull rope itself, fine, whatever. But like, I don't like the
As a
corners.
kid, this was probably my first chain match that I've ever seen. That even bull rope. That of my first match, because this was on Deadly Venom Best of Sting. I've talked about it multiple times on this show. My favorite VHS when I was a kid. Watched it over and over. So for me, this was the first time I ever saw the touching the corners, and the way this match finishes is very memorable. Then every bull rope or chain match from here on out finishes the same fucking way.
Especially if Sting's in it.
Yeah.
I must say, Nikita Koloff should have been a bigger star. Why he didn't go up north and be huge, I don't know. I like him.
I do too.
He's,
the Russian Nightmare from Lithuania.
yeah.
Did you get that? They said he's from Lithuania. Who's also from South Carolina. He's not even Russian.
No.
Not at all. But I really enjoyed this match. I thought that, you know what, though? Did you notice that Sting kept trying to throw Nikita out through the ropes, and Nikita would hit the rope and slide under because Sting wasn't getting the fact that if you throw me through the ropes, you got to come through the ropes too, because we're going to get all tangled up. Yeah. So I think Nikita was trying to stop them from getting tangled up. And then there's one point where Nikita wraps the chain on the wrong hand. So I guess, is it tied to his left hand, but he's a righty, so he starts wrapping it on his right hand, but then he realizes, shit, it's too close. So now I got to do this to throw a punch with it. It's very awkward.
Did you guys notice that up to this match, the wrestlers just came out with their name at the screen, on the bottom of the screen? And then this
What was it?
When the wrestlers would come out for all the matches, it would just say, like, at the bottom as they walk to the ring.
Like a
their
nameplate.
And then for this match, they had, like,
Oh,
the
the
whole screen
graphic.
was like Nikita Koloff, Sting.
Well, this was the,
these are the main
honestly,
matches.
this could have been a triple main event type deal. It really was. Like, this was.
This is the first one that felt like a pay-per-view match.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I actually had finally a match that is worth the price of admission.
They could have had a great match without the chain, just one-on-one.
They do. Yeah, they have a lot of matches.
Yeah,
This is not their first, which is weird. That's another thing. Why do they go right to a chain? There's no build.
That's usually the culmination.
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
feud.
This is like the start of a feud. They still have a few matches to go, including tag matches.
Because he's been using chain.
That's how the feud
And
started.
what makes it a Russian chain?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it speak English?
I thought it was maybe covered in vodka.
So this is...
It's in 91. Russians aren't even heels anymore.
not even...
It was from the 80s.
Is this... Sting's on the way up at this point, right? So this isn't like...
No, he's already beaten Flair. He's already been champion. 91.
This isn't like...
Remember, they did... Sting's big title win is the same night Savage has his big title win.
It's the Clash of Champions, it's 60 minutes?
Clash of Champions, yeah. So Sting's rise and Savage's rise literally happen simultaneously because they both get their first world title on the same night.
Okay.
Now I shouldn't say that it's simultaneous because obviously one got very, very much higher. And not that I don't know. I just hold Savage in a higher bracket than Sting.
I mean, but Sting isn't quite at
Savage
that...
didn't let a motherfucker turn on him. When somebody turned on Savage, they were getting their ass kicked. They weren't getting forgiven and then turned on again and then forgiven and then turned on again. When a motherfucker had lust in his eyes, he was taking care of that shit.
The Sting's not quite the guy yet.
I think he's the biggest face. I mean, they're obviously from later on, they don't have Luger anymore.
Then later it's like he's like the franchise guy, like he's the man.
Yeah,
he's getting there.
he's there. He's it. What other faces do they have? Dustin, they're building. Dustin's the guy they're building. Sting is the face of the company. There's a billion kids with their fucking face painted and shit.
Yeah.
And all the signs are Sting signs, or we want Flair signs.
The foam fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. He's there. I don't know if he's the hottest he's ever been. I'd say that's maybe like 92, 93. When the Dangerous Alliance is literally put together to destroy Sting, which you could also say that was a gimmick of the Four Horsemen because they were put together to destroy Dusty. But,
And then they did it later with Hogan.
yeah. So now we get the big main event, right? Big steel cage main event.
Nope.
Luger versus Barry Windham for the vacant WCW title, right?
What a fucking rigged cage that was.
Oh my God. Yes, let's talk about I didn't even write it down, but yes. The overhead shot. Why would they show that? I mean, they cut away from it very fast so that they cut away for Tony and JR to do a little talking while they try to fix this fucking thing coming down. It is literally like tipping on one side. The whole thing coming down. Did you not see this, John?
No.
Oh, the cage is like this. Obviously, people at home, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. But yeah, the cage it's coming down and half of it's on an angle.
So picture the four corners of the cage.
Was that because of that stupid ramp?
No,
it was coming down.
So the cage is being held up by four cables, right? Picture that on each corner. a cable. Something happened where as they were trying to drop it, it tilted on one side.
Which is usually, it's weird because it's usually a truss. So it's not 4 cable. Like everything should be level. It's not like one cable, like 4 free cables. Everything should be coming down on a truss.
Yeah, you don't drop it 4 different times.
Yeah.
You drop it once.
But it came down looking like it was being dropped from 4 different cables.
Oh.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But
so they cut to Jim Cornette, Jim Ross, and Tony Schiavone.
But then even when the cage is on the ring, what the fuck is that?
It's not held together well.
It's short. It's like on the corners they have like something wrapping.
Well, it's not held together well.
That's probably why they didn't do a lot of cage spots. There's not a lot of like throwing them into the cage.
Like I understand back then, like obviously the money.
Why one of the cage matches that are coming up is only 2 minutes long.
But like WWE had the better cage, obviously.
Well, Big Blue, there's no comparison.
But how do you go from that to just that cheap? I don't know.
The cage made sense for Flair and Luger because they were in a feud, right?
Yeah.
These two aren't in a feud, so it shouldn't even been a cage.
Nope.
No, they said no interference.
Well, because the Horsemen are a thing. They're not, but I mean, like.
I mean, Arn still came out.
Arn's still, yeah, he's still part of it.
Arn and Hughes.
Oh, yeah.
So Arn comes out. Gives
So finally, here's what I have written. Finally, a babyface gets the victory, and the crowd can have something to cheer for. Oh, wait. Nope, we're going to fuck him. And we're going to turn the second hottest babyface we have, the good-looking, chiseled, can't cut a promo, but still looks good when he talks.
Looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
Greek god.
We're going to turn him heel.
Except the fans were sort of like, no, didn't boo. They're just like, what is
Because they
going on?
didn't know what the fuck to do.
Arn comes out, gives him some motivational speech, and then Luger wins.
No, Harley Race. Not Arn.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Harley Race and Mr.
Race
Hughes.
and- yeah, Mr. Hughes.
Who they walk out, they go over and Harley's like, now's the time.
Yeah, to do the pile driver.
Which isn't his finisher.
Well, I guess it is
Harley.
now.
Yeah. And
Because
then
he's with Harley.
then they don't like nothing.
I guess it makes sense because of like a torture rack. Can't do in a cage. So he needed something. So pile driver works. Although he's big, he should just like fucking gorilla press him, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he should be putting over. I get that he's not like as colorful as the Warrior, but this is 91. Like Warrior's body is fresh in the minds of people. Why aren't you giving him the Warrior treatment?
They should be throwing, and Barry will bump for you. Throw him around.
Yeah, I also wonder if Barry Windham was not. I don't know much about Barry Windham's like personal life or his could be drug use, but was he on the up and up at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Or maybe he just didn't want to work with Luger.
I thought we'd be more like back and forth, but this is really basically a squash. Luger
Yeah, and maybe Barry didn't like that. Maybe he was like, "Fuck it, just go out there and fucking beat me, and we're done. I'm not doing this shit." Although he's gonna stick around, right? He's still there till 95. When does Barry go back to the Fed? When's Stalker?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. Wouldn't it be Widowmaker first?
Widowmaker, yeah, it's first, but that's he's already back. Yeah, so he jumps so much. It's hard to keep him. Yeah, that's a hard one to keep track of. He was like US Express, then WCW, then back to Widowmaker. So that would have been like 89, I think, maybe 90.
I would think.
And then back with the Horsemen, and then he's gonna go be the Stalker.
Which also didn't last very long.
No. Because when he comes back, the Horsemen at this point would have been Barry, Flair, Arn, and Sid. But Sid was gone. He went, and Flair is gone.
Yeah, because they're in the 92 Rumble together. Yeah.
Right. Luger was in there at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arn always stayed. Arn was like the best.
Arn and Flair, they're the only constants.
So do you know what belt that was?
Yeah, what did they say? I saw something about it.
It's the Championship Wrestling from Florida title
Okay.
belt.
And they just put like it was Dusty's, right?
Dusty owned it.
Yeah.
And they just put a metal plate with WCW World
Yeah.
Champion on it.
So they could get the new one, which I actually like the WCW World Title. The one that, I call it the Rick Rude belt. I think Rick Rude's the one that I think is synonymous with it. Obviously, Sting has it. Vader has it.
That's the one that
Ron Simmons has it. Yeah, Luger has it.
That's why they don't.
But for me, I don't know. I think of Rude.
Because they don't mention that it's a new title. They don't zoom in on the title. They just and Luger's like, and then all right, let's go.
Oh yeah,
they don't like nothing about it.
That's the one with the on the center plate, the guy is holding the globe, right?
I don't know. Side plates? I don't know.
No, on the main plate, on the center plate.
Yeah. Now we have our second steel cage match.
Like if you really want to get Luger over as a heel, why not have him just beat up Barry Windham afterwards or something?
Because Barry Windham was a heel. But did you feel like it was a double turn? Because I didn't feel like it was a double turn. Like, were we turning Barry Windham face? Because it didn't feel like he was.
But it didn't feel like Luger turned either.
I remember what he's going to do after this. He's not leaving. Barry Windham is going to start teaming with Dustin. Sorry.
Oh, in a tag team.
Yeah, because they have their shit. Like Halloween Havoc 92, they're going to be a tag team. And that's when they start breaking up.
Okay.
So they're about to start being a tag team.
So because Flair left, they needed a heel. So that's Luger, so that Sting has somebody to...
What was wrong with Nikita? What was wrong with Arn as just a heel?
I didn't say there was.
And Luger isn't even their heel for a long time. I mean, because Rude becomes their heel.
But you would think, like, have Harley throw a weapon in or something to acknowledge that he's a heel. Luger just is like, oh, you're here? Let's walk out together.
Yeah, why? Harley could have did something to Arn, like with Arn out there too. He could have, Arn could have just come in and go, come on, Barry, come on, you can do it. Let's do this. We don't need Rick. And then Harley could have came out and punched Arn and then stuck a cigar in Barry Windham's eye or something. I don't know. Fucking do something.
Yeah, distracted. Let Mr. Hughes come in.
And you turn, but I guess they didn't want to turn Arn face because they need him for the shit that's going to happen, or else Rick Steiner doesn't look. So
I was watching this and I was like, okay, Luger won. I completely forgot.
Yeah. Oh, what? You forgot what? There's another match?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Because, a title is typically the last match.
A cage match. A vacant world title cage match is not your main event.
Which is on the poster. You literally built this entire show around that match.
Then you have the mixed tag match. Six person mixed tag match, right?
No.
It's not?
No.
It sure as hell was built that way. So this was supposed to be Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, and Missy Hyatt versus Arn, Barry, and Paul Heyman. Yeah. But because they had to switch, which is fucking stupid because there's other people you could have put in this position. Why did you have to pull Barry?
He's the number 2.
Those rankings are...
Yeah, that's just made up.
Yeah.
Or you could have opened... Fuck the ladder match. The scaffold match. Not a ladder match. The scaffold match. Fuck the scaffold match. Open with a cage. The tag team. The mixed tag. But apparently Scott was also a little hurt here. So to keep him healthy... You guys are going to leave soon anyway. Dude, I'm telling you, so many people. Think about what 92 WWE is about to be. It's a lot of these guys. So you have Rick Steiner and Missy Hyatt, kinda. But the Dirty Dicks, Dick Slater and Dick Murdoch, come out and kidnap her. Also, I don't remember Missy Hyatt having dark hair like that. Oh, we didn't even talk about the interview, the fucking pervy interview.
Bischoff. I love this job. And it goes
It's so weird. And knowing who Bischoff is from listening to his podcast, it's like he was probably cringing at that, having to go in there. That's why it didn't seem natural. It seemed like somebody pretending to be into women. Oh yeah, I love this. This is gonna be awesome. And he goes in, Missy, can we get a word? You didn't hear the door open. You didn't see somebody and a camera that has a fucking light there until he said something.
And yeah, he didn't know she
And
was
she's
in the
already
shower.
covered.
Yeah.
So
It's bad.
Yeah.
That's just
But yeah, that's when I was like, when did Missy Hyatt have black hair? When they kidnap her so that it could be Rick Steiner versus Arn Anderson and Paul Heyman. Do you know why? Because they failed to find out that the Athletic Commission of Maryland does not allow mixed gender matches.
Nice.
Men and women can't be in a ring together.
Yes.
Wrestling.
Do you know if that's changed?
I don't know. Probably.
Plus, Missy's not a worker. Neither is Heyman. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it must have because there was an intergender 6-man.
I'm sure it's much different now.
Yeah.
But what that really, I mean, we weren't going to get Beulah versus Bill Alfonso. This wasn't going to be like some huge Missy Hyatt beating the fuck out of Paul Heyman.
Or anyone beating her up.
Yeah.
She was probably just going to tag in to pin somebody. That was it.
By the way, in that promo earlier in the night made me realize that Paul Heyman has always been fucking amazing on the mic.
Yes. Paul Heyman has always been amazing for everything.
Oh, he's Paulie Dangerously at this
Yes,
point. Yeah.
I wrote Heyman throughout the whole thing. I realized that as I was getting to the end of writing Heyman, I was like, "Fuck, he's not Paul Heyman. I'm leaving it. I'm not correcting it. Fuck that."
Our fans know.
Yeah. So I had all right. So now you can have Paul run away and let Rick Steiner and Arn Anderson have a nice, solid little cage match, right? Nope. 2 minutes. A 2-minute main event. Well, I mean, what's worse? The I don't know what the hell just happened world title match or this? Fans don't even go home happy with this. They didn't get to see Missy Hyatt, which they're that's what they want. They didn't get to see any blood.
They didn't see Heyman get his ass kicked. I want to see that.
They didn't get to see Heyman get destroyed. They didn't even get to see Steiner and Arn wrestle.
Yeah, he didn't even do any he did the Steiner line. And
Yeah.
Anderson's knocked out.
Done. One hit.
He's probably taken that move a million times in tag matches.
Yeah, I mean,
Send the fans home happy. That's not going to do it. If that case,
they're already chanting, "We want Flair." They're already pissed that Flair's gone, and you send them home with this. I would have pivoted. I would have tried. I would have nixed the chain match. Put Sting and Luger face versus face. Then turn Luger on Sting. Put him in the world title match. Have Nikita Koloff come in and hit Sting. And then Luger's like, "Oh man, Sting, you're hurt." And then he tries to help him up and then fucking low blow him. And then, have Harley Race build a nice little thing with Nikita. Because remember, Nikita was going to hit Lex first. I'm booking this on the fucking fly here. Nikita was going to hit Luger first. Maybe Luger is like, "Well, you pushed me out of the way. Why? You thought I couldn't take a chain shot? I'm tougher than you. Fuck you. I would have taken that and I would have still finished our match. You doing that caused us to not be able to finish our match against the Steiners. We could have beat them."
Somebody employed.
even put Barry in and had a four-way.
Well, I mean, it's easy when you go hindsight.
They
Though.
weren't really doing four-ways back then, but you could have put Wyndham and had a four-way.
Yeah, nope. ECW didn't do that yet.
This pay-per-view was terrible.
Yeah.
It was boring.
This is what wrestling was, man.
This is not what I expected from a Justin pick.
Why? It's 91 WCW, man.
It's also the production is bad.
I just wanted to show you guys what. Oh yeah,
You can tell there's
it's always
there's no money behind it.
Yeah,
not like the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah,
they had some
not
money.
until they hit Nitro where they really get money.
When Ted Turner,
even the Clash of Champions and shit before Nitro, when they first got Hogan. Remember, Hogan didn't come in with Nitro. It's something that people tend to forget. But Hogan was there already when Nitro started.
Yeah.
Those don't look great. That Bash at the Beach with Shaquille O'Neal doesn't look great.
Well, we're filming outside. That's not a great idea anyway. But you see that one there's one cameraman. That one shot, he's running down.
Yeah.
And then you don't even see anybody get you barely miss Missy Hyatt.
Yeah, and even
He needs to run down quick.
And what did something happen? Were there fans grabbing at her?
Yeah,
Is that what happened?
yeah.
Okay.
So the fans were grabbing her, and the fans were grabbing the dicks.
Speaking of grabbing dicks and twisting it, everybody wanted the midgets to fucking grab dicks and twist it last night.
And when the one finally did, they
Yeah,
erupted.
it fucking exploded, man.
The dick exploded.
Yeah.
But they grabbed them as well.
Because she should have been in the cage. Rick is already in, and then
Yeah, it was really dumb. This whole pay-per-view was
and
dumb.
you see the cameraman run down, And then by the time we turned, they already have a hold of her.
Even
Yeah.
the hard cam moves.
Oh yeah, I'm like, is there only one cameraman working tonight? It's bad.
Well, this is what we had to grow up with. You think you have bad wrestling. This is what we had. This is what I grew up on.
So, Bischoff gets a lot of shit. Everyone thinks he ruined WCW, drove him out of business because he spent all this money on these big contracts. But
Look at what he was taking over.
Bischoff saved this company.
This is what it was.
If it stays like this, they're out of business before the Monday Night Wars. Because like we said, all these guys are leaving and their product is shit anyway. Even with these guys, it's shit. So he came along and went like, look, if you want to keep up with them, we've got to put some money into this.
Well, it's because Ric Flair wasn't a bad booker. He was fine. But obviously he was booking himself on top. But you had good matches under that. This is, he had his Steamboat matches as the booker. He had his Terry Funk matches, which are some of his most well talked about matches in WCW history. But this wasn't it. So what do you blame? Do you blame Dusty? I think at this point, Dusty wasn't the Dusty that he became. I think he was thinking very narrow-sighted with this. I don't think he was listening to anybody. Again, you can see that they're putting Dustin over. That's obviously to appease Dusty. And you don't seem to be building anybody. Luger's already there, so you're not building Luger.
He's a made man.
Yeah.
Sting.
What are you gonna maybe you have plans for the Diamond Stud, but with a name like that and the gimmick, it's not going anywhere.
That's a
I
mid-card
don't think
character.
they thought Johnny B. Bad was going to go. No, he wasn't a world champion, but I think he was very popular come like 94, 95, 96. Well, not 96,
He
95.
got better as a worker
Yes.
too. Yes, very good.
Yeah. So at this point, I don't think they know where they're going. I think they're booking by the seat of their pants. They're just, what do we got tonight? Who's here? Raise your hand if you don't have a match already. That kind of thing.
And
think
this
they-
kept you watching?
Huh?
This stuff kept you watching?
So here's what I liked about it was different. Remember, I had VHS tapes. I'm like 1 year old at this point. I'm not watching, obviously, but this is the videotapes that my dad had. He videotaped everything, whether it was WCW or WWE. He had it. So I grew up watching those VHSs. So when Razor Ramon, eventually I saw Razor Ramon, I was like, oh, that's that guy. Undertaker, I never made that. I never realized that was the skyscraper. But yeah, it's cool because I, as a kid, I had Ric Flair from both eras. I didn't get to watch his transition, but I knew what was coming or what was happening.
I knew Goldust was Dustin Rhodes. Like
I knew that, but
Yeah.
I was old enough at that point to know. I think my dad used to tell me that kind of stuff too. He would be like, "Oh, that's Dustin,"
but I
and I'd
didn't.
be like, "Oh, okay," because I liked Dustin back then.
I didn't connect Oz, Vinny Vegas, and Diesel back then. I didn't.
No, I didn't know Oz either, but yeah, it's just
Vinny
Diamond
Vegas is his
Stud.
character after Oz,
He's about to debut,
managed
after
by
this.
DDP. Yeah,
All right, well, we'll review the next pay per view, see if it gets any better.
I doubt it.
No, we will not.
Yeah.
It also helped. The weekly show helped because there's more eyes on them, and now you have to masters to please. You have to hit
Yeah.
ratings. Now Ted Turner wants you to beat Vince, so you have to put a better product.
But
out.
if this is your pay per view, what the fuck is your weekly show? If this was what people paid to see, what's your free weekly
this is what
TV?
you think are your 10 best matches.
Yeah,
So what was main event?
11.
We've got the dark
Next
match.
tax. Oh,
No, 12.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I didn't catch the dark match, so yeah.
So what was main event in like Saturday night?
Nothing.
What was
Sting promos probably.
What was your main event on a house show? If you went like, oh,
Yeah.
I also must say, you probably can say, they're in WWE territory. They're in Maryland.
No, Maryland's below the Mason-Dixon line. Maryland is WCW.
not
They
Northeast?
ran Great American Bash. Is actually, I think, the 4th year in a row they ran Great American Bash for there. This is the arena that they ran the first ever War Games match in. at the Great American
I know they
Bash
were there
in
a lot, but
88, I think is what it was.
That's not
Yep.
WWE. That's not northeast enough
Nope.
for them. That's as far as they went, though, right?
Pretty much. No, I mean, they come to Philly. Remember, Halloween Havoc 92 is in Philly.
Okay.
So they do venture
But
up
they're
here.
sort of.
Yeah. But for the most part, Baltimore was like their top of the.
They stayed south a lot. They don't come up.
But yeah, so 88, 89, 90, 91, all Great American Bashes were in this arena. The first ever War Games was in this arena.
All right. I knew they had him there. I was like, oh, man, they're venturing into Vince territory. That's going to. I guess not. Okay.
Yeah. So it's, Baltimore's, it's a hotbed for WCW.
Oh, still southern enough.
I don't even think, like, honestly, I don't even remember, like, them going to, like, Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Definitely not New York.
They never came up.
Probably not even Jersey. I think Philly was probably one of their.
And that was like once in a while. That wasn't like to hit it on every loop. That was, now later, when the Monday Night Wars, then it was fair
But
game.
again, when they come to Philly in 92, they've got a little more WWE power. They've got Rude. That might be it, actually. But, Jake. They got Jake the Snake.
Yeah. And some newer stars like Vader.
Also, shout out to Drake the Snake with his new video release.
Oh, God. Yeah. Apparently Drake has a python.
Is it bigger than Batista?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Apparently it got leaked and everybody's in shock.
Is it real? How do you know? Do you see his face?
I didn't do my...
Didn't this happen before with people? Like,
Was it leaked by like an ex-girlfriend or something? Or?
Probably.
yeah, I didn't look into it much. I just saw.
I just know every...
Drake. I saw a Drake the Snake meme today. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Every female on my feed is just like, oh my God, it's so big. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Canadians. It's weird.
No wonder they're so nice.
Eh?
All right, so coming up February 23rd, we got Three Legacies Wrestling at Millersville University again. The semifinals of the tag team tournament. You got Dog Nation going against South Philly's Finest, and then you got Ricardo and Smiley going against Money and Muscles. And then March 30th is the big Downtown Showdown. There's some big news about to drop for that. I don't know when, but be on the lookout for that. And then they're already planning for Red Rose Rumble 2 in August 3rd. So definitely recommend checking out Three Legacies Wrestling. And I definitely recommend checking out Micro Wrestling All-Stars on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find them. It's a blast. Honestly, it was. Oh, shit.
So it is official. Cody announced he will be going after Roman Reigns. It is Roman Reigns versus Cody. I don't know if anything else happened.
So not a triple threat.
As far
Not
as
yet.
now.
Or one night, another night. You can do that.
Justin has been saying Chamber.
Rock said, I'm head of the table. He didn't say anything about wanting the title.
Yeah.
He just
No.
said head of the table.
But Cody was the one that said, I'm not coming for you at Mania. And then he brought The Rock out.
Yeah.
So I think that is because people want Cody. They were like, you know what? We're getting so much backlash
That's
from
because you
this.
I don't know about
sold us
that.
this and gave us this.
Look,
I don't know about that entirely.
Rock versus Roman. Fucking great on card without a title.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it should have a title.
Everyone's giving Rock ship and Hunter, but how do you know Rock didn't say to Hunter, look, I cleared my schedule for this year's Mania. So if we don't do it this year, I may not be available for the next 5 years. So we've got to do it now or never. We don't know that.
I mean,
The Rock is busy making movies and shit, so maybe.
Yeah, but he's part of the board.
I don't know if he's making any movies anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe.
And if he is, they might just be for Netflix.
He's still a busy guy, so
Yeah.
we might have just said, look, I this is all I have available, so we doing it or not.
So Cody and Roman at Mania.
Is what
I'm
they're
a
announcing
little-
now. We know wrestlers card subject to change.
That's all the press conference was about for that.
No, I don't
It
know.
was
That's
about
all. That's the
WrestleMania
only.
stuff.
That's the only WrestleMania thing that they showed. There are a bunch of videos. I'm not going to get them right now. I'm not going to waste the time of the podcast to watch them and then regurgitate. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. And then a lot of stuff happening because WrestleMania is in Philly this year. There's a ton of wrestling. If you like wrestling, even the slightest bit, Philly, Jersey, Delaware. There's stuff happening all over the week of WrestleMania. Go out, have fun, take your income taxes, and just spend it all.
Mania is placed at a very significant place of the calendar.
Yeah.
Where people get income tax checks.
Yeah.
Ain't it funny?
But, yeah, enjoy wrestling. We'll see you next week.
Later.